What's up, y'all? Jeffery of Jeffery TV. Coming to you live in Memorex, whatever you call it. I'm gonna give y'all my take on the Oscars, Will Smith, Chris Rock situation. I watch award shows, I'm Hollywood. That's why I'm out here. I almost think that why the hell live in Los Angeles and pay all this money if you ain't into all the glamour and glitz and all that hoopla and spectacle and entertainment and all that. A lot of it's garbage, a lot of it's sensationalism, but I like it. It works for me. It was the Paris Hilton getting out of jail one that really made me realize that it doesn't have to be real news or even anything for us to get hyped up about. So I'm watching an award show, and my first reaction was, ain't no white people on here. I mean, I've watched this award show plenty of times, years ago, and my rant was, ain't no black people on here. That's just me. Another thing about me, I basically don't believe there's a right or wrong. So try to remember that as I go through this summary of my thoughts and opinion. I don't believe there's a right or wrong. So if it's all white, I'm gonna go, what? If it's all, no white people, all diverse, I'm gonna go, whoa, any extreme, quote unquote, triggers me. So I'm watching the show, and on the red carpet and everything, everybody in the show, with a microphone, talking, producing, was a person of color. I don't know about producing, but in the show. I don't know about back scene. And then the show starts off with Serena and Venus introducing Beyonce performing in Compton. I almost filled up a OneNote taking notes so I could remember that. It was the most diverse Academy Awards probably ever in the history of Academy Awards. And my problem with anything going so far this way or so far that way is that it doesn't represent the actual population. It doesn't represent what is actually going on. It's like an overcompensation. And for me, I'm not a victim. I don't want the bullshit. I don't want you feeling I need this or you need to do that for me. I don't want affirmative action. I think affirmative action may have had its time in the past, but now it's time to have people buckle up or whatever. You can talk about lineage, you can argue it either way, what you want. It's just my opinion, I don't want to walk in there and have somebody look at me and think that I'm here because of affirmative action or anything. So I'm not into all that. It is almost patronizing to me. The level of the people of color and the attention to racism, it's preaching to the choir. Whoever you talking to, if somebody is a real racist, they gonna be one. These little ads ain't gonna do nothing. You making Academy Awards and having all diversified people, on your brand and your public face, the public faces, the faces facing the public in your company all of a sudden got a little bit of color in it. That ain't gonna help nothing. The people who are racist are racist. Just like the people who are Christian, you ain't gonna change them to be Muslim by putting a whole bunch of Muslims on TV, or vice versa. So that's my thing. So I'm watching it, and I'm sitting there going, oh boy, here we go. Everybody black. And then Will Smith gets up and do his thing. Him and Chris Rock. Whatever that was. Well, we know what that was. I'm gonna say whatever that was because I think it's still being evaluated, and I'm still evaluating it too. So he get up and do that. Pat, pat. Now, I'm thinking, whoa, the most diverse Academy Award show ever. Maybe like the first time, quote unquote, they're gonna say, we get the platform and look how we act, quote unquote. This happens. So in the most diverse Academy Award show ever, you got niggas acting out, basically. That's gonna send a message. Remember what I said about right and wrong. To me, what happened, there is no right or wrong. There's just human nature, there's actions, and there's consequences. Some people might even say karma. So to look at this and to see that kind of action that Will did and understanding what he did. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. It's something that's familiar in my community or in my experience. I've heard that before. I know what it means. The people who know what that means. The people who know what that means. And there's a question about defending your honor, defending your wife. The whole disease thing and the bald head, I don't even factor that in. That's just irrelevant to me. Because as a comedian, you should be able to say anything. And whether he knew it or not, however the joke was interpreted, no matter what he meant or not, even if she did have a disease, he was making, and I don't think he was, trying to get on her because she was bald or because of the disease. It was a joke. And G.I. Jane, I mean, let's face it, her that kind of attitude kind of almost fits with Jada Pinkett, the toughness, and that look. And even, I think she had her hair cut before or something. In a movie, there's more than just the bald part to that joke, I think. But anyway, I'm not even want to bring that up because it's irrelevant. Well, it isn't in this kind of, but the whole point is this. What Will Smith did was something that I have an experience and an understanding of. When a line is crossed, you and your family, you protect it. And his reaction was, like I said, I've seen it before, so I kind of knew what that was. Now, for him, a lot of people said he should have waited till, commercial. He could have done that. Cut the dude later, whatever, send somebody at it, or whatever. He can go down a different way. But he chose to do it that way. Now, in the most diverse Academy Awards, I'm trying to put this together. In the most diverse Academy Awards ever, one of the highest esteemed actors, almost excellent. Will Smith does not know Tupac or no Dr. Dre. So this was a quote unquote somebody who we would think is rational, went up there and did that. And what shocked us all is that he did that at that time, in that position. With the world watching, it's something as prestigious as that. The spectacle of breaking that traditional protocol, crossing that line with everything at stake, worldwide audience, to be that guy to do that. What he did was broke a so-called, what we feel is tradition. A tradition that was taught to you by Western culture. Or you can just say, oh, you just don't hit anybody. That was taught to you. You just can't take that for granted that violence is wrong. Who says violence is wrong? All of us? Sometimes you gotta go there. Now, of course, there's better ways to handle it. I agree. No, there's different ways of handling it. But he chose that. And here's how I'm trying to tie it all together. The most diverse Academy Awards ever, this happens. Something that a lot of people in the culture and the community understand. The whole thing, defending and how he said it, what he said, keep it out my mouth, that's common. And you talk about keeping it real and being true to life, and the protocol that he broke. The protocol that he broke was given to you or taught to you by Western culture. The culture that was on display last night was not Western. So if you go, yeah, at the Grammys you don't do that. I mean, at the Oscars you don't do that. But if you was in the hood and somebody did that, you'd respond that way. I mean, that's how you would go down. So it's like keeping it real, and this is how we do it. A lot of people say he embarrassed, he did this, it was out of line. See, who drew the lines? Western culture. And then to really get weird, there was a time in Western culture when walking up and smacking a man was a formal way of asking for a duel. It was accepted. Now, Will and Christian go out and shoot it out. At one time, that was a quote-unquote accepted way of duel, walking up and smacking them. Western culture said, well, that's the way we handle it. They got rid of it. Things change. Who says that what he did was right or wrong? Remember, I don't believe in right or wrong. So under what authority or what ideal or what tells you that I was wrong? Oh, you ain't supposed to. No, that's not an answer. I don't know nothing. Even if I did, I'm asking you your opinion and why. So for him to get up and act out like that, in that setting, at that time, at the most diverse Oscars ever, remember, I don't believe in right or wrong. There's consequences. If somebody did something, quote unquote, wrong to me, since it was done directly to me, it's subjective. I could subjectively label that as wrong, but I probably wouldn't use that as wrong. I would use other words. And I would retaliate, or I would adjust or do what I had to do to handle it. But for that human experience, to go through that, whatever that was last night, to see what I would call the best TV I've ever seen in my life, with so much going on, the way it happened, I was watching it live, I didn't believe it was real. And then I got a hold of the unedited audio, and I heard his tone and the way he said it. I've heard that before. We've heard that before. I ain't gonna say that's what we do, but you know. So why wouldn't he do that then? Oh, because you don't want to wreck your career or your business. But that's selling out. You can't have it both ways. And also, as I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself, the discussion for this is gonna be really good. The discussion for this is gonna be really good. I knew that Sunday night. Because the race card can't be played. So black people can't blame Whitey. It's on us. We now have nobody to blame but us. And I was so looking forward to that conversation of us talking about us. Most of the professional musicians, the professionals said, you handle that off stage. Yeah, you do. But if somebody gonna, front on you in public, and you want to save face, certain cultures, you handle your business. we've been trained or taught or whatever that at the Grammys or in that situation, you don't do that. And again, I say, who says don't do that? Who says don't do that? It's the same establishment that a lot of you guys rebel against, that you want to tear down. But all of a sudden you want to live up to their guidelines. And some of you woke people who believe violence isn't the way, violence is never the answer, that's just your opinion. Now, I'm not condoning anything anyway. Because remember, I don't believe in right or wrong, good or bad. I just believe in actions and consequences. So who's to say? And not only that, what really struck me, I said, if we'll go up there and he wins this award, he's immortal. He'll be in Hollywood history forever. This night will never be forgotten, ever. As he pulled off that move, discussions of right or wrong, quote unquote right or wrong, his moves, what should happen, repercussions, etc., will be discussed. He might be infamous or famous. His body of work before him is going to speak for itself. For him to go, quote unquote, maybe out of character at that time, at that moment, he's immortal. They'll be talking about this in Hollywood history, in the Oscars, forever. And for me, how much is that worth? I don't care what it's for. People still talking about me 300-400 years later. What would I pay for that? To still be that deeply embedded in history for whatever reason? Ain't that the goal? Ain't that the reason why we here? To have an impact? And again, good or bad, there is none. Anyway, my name is Jeffery. I'm out here sweating. Temperature went up 25 degrees from yesterday. I'm a bit overdressed, I had my hat on, but I feel good. I just wanted to get that out. Hope it's a little bit coherent and not all over the place. But it comes down to what we want to accept or what the individual wants to accept as, quote unquote, their personal good, bad, right, and wrong. There is no universal good, bad, right, or wrong. Only what we've been taught, and only some things that we may generally sort of accept as the standard. For me, there's no overall authority to dictate what's right or wrong. Things just happen. And in certain cultures, and in certain places, what Will Smith did was appropriate. Many people say, not there, not there. Get him at the break, not on TV. Why? No, that's not keeping it real. You want to be gangster, you want to be a G, that's how you do it. And like I said before, a couple hundred years ago or so, slapping a man like that in public was quote unquote accepted. It was how you did it. Now just Chris Rock and Will Smith just got to go out and duel. That's all. Now that part, shooting each other, we got laws against that. But still, there is no, human nature comes above laws, to me. Human nature, response, emotion, it comes before laws. Human behavior, before laws. Laws come next. And laws just lay out a guideline to which societies agreed if you do this, do that, there will be consequences. So all laws are. Anyhow, my name is Jeffrey. Just wanted to get that out. Hope I didn't go out too long because I wanted to be coherent and people to get the idea without having to listen to the whole thing. I don't even know how long this was. My name is Jeffery, swinging on y'all 2 times. And as I always say, for me, for the phone, And for every subatomic or atom that has ever existed in this or in any universe that ever was or is or shall be, the totality of it all, y'all. That means the up, down, the good, the bad, the left, right, all of it. All of it plays a part. All of it. None of it can be excluded. And I'm loving the conversation we're having on this, black people. I'm loving the conversation. It's probably the best conversation we've had on anything as an aggregate ever. Because we can't blame white. It's on us. Anyhow, my name is Jeffrey. And I'm out. I said I was out, didn't I? Come on now. Stop!